who are going to be the most dangerous offenses in 2024. We said it at the top of this live show, man. Like, there is no longer a world where you can just ground and pound your way to a national championship. If you want to win it all, and every single fan base in America wants to at least win their conference and expects past that to go do some things in this new college football playoff format, you got to score more than 35. It's got to be somewhere in the range of 40. And I'm not saying consistently, but at least enough, maybe once or twice a year to win a shootout. You got to play versatile styles. So some of those teams that I expect to be well-versed to play in a versatile style of game. Let's start with Oregon. 68% of that production from a season ago is back. They scored over 41 points a game. I know what you're saying. JD, Troy Franklin, their leading receiver, he's gone to the league. Bo Nix, the man, the myth, the legend in Eugene, he's gone to the league. How are they going to keep it going? Well, they brought in Evan Stewart, who was the best wide receiver in the portal over from Texas A&M. He is just a physical specimen, going to win his matchups, going to thrive in this offense. And you bring in someone who I like to call left-handed Bo Nix, which is, of course, Dillon Gabriel. Talked to Dan Lanning on this very show. I believe it was somewhere around a week and a half, 2 weeks ago. And the reason why they love Dillon Gabriel, outside of all of his physical attributes, he brings a ton of experience to the table. So you're not going to have Dillon Gabriel out there with a lot of overwhelming feelings, regardless of who they're playing against. He's been there, he's done that, played on the biggest stages, and had a lot of success. What they want to do offensively is get you going side to side as a defense, get your eyes all mixed up, and they do a lot of that with attacking the perimeter. It could be the jet sweep. Quick cough there. No huddle, no mercy. It could be the jet sweep. It could be the quick pass on the outside. They want to get your secondary and your linebackers, get their eyes all mixed up. And when they get you flowing one way, they'll come right back the other way with inside zone or with a counter, whatever it looks like. And so the reason why they are so effective at getting those eyes mixed up is because of how efficient they are. So Dillon Gabriel and his efficiency is going to be paramount to them having success offensively. And when they have that success, when they get that rhythm going, that momentum going, watch for some big run plays. 5.5 yards a carry last season, good for top 5 in the country. So I want to get you flowing and then take advantage of that with their scheme. Texas, bringing back 74% of their production offensively from a season ago, where they scored 36 last year. Key part of that, obviously, was Quinn Ewers, and bringing him back for another year in Austin is absolutely massive. But you do lose your top 2 wide receivers. Xavier Worthy, Adonai Mitchell, leaving behind over 1,000 yards receiving in terms of what you have to make up with losing both of them. They went to the portal heavy and got after it there, landing Isaiah Bond from Alabama, Silas Bolden from Oregon State, Amari Niblack from Alabama, the tight end. They got some weapons now. Now, as much as we think about Texas and their ability to push the ball downfield, of course they want to do that. And we'll talk about that more in a second. But Texas and Steve Sarkisian's offensive attack is built on running the football. It's built on running the football, and last year they did that about as well as anybody. They averaged close to 200 yards a game on the ground, a lot of inside zone, a lot of just physical attitude on that offensive line. And then when you got a team to be in a bind and have to commit to the run earlier, they're tired of getting gashed. They're tired of having to tackle C.J. Baxter at 4 yards. We're going to go up and try and tackle him at 2 yards. When you get too aggressive, hand in the cookie jar, that's when Xavier Worthy would hurt you. Now, this year, instead of Xavier Worthy, it'll be Silas Bolden, it'll be Isaiah Bond. So I love that Quinn Ewers is back for this offense, clearly. I mean, he was 69% completion on all of his passes last year. He's really efficient. So they're going to keep you guessing offensively, and they got some guys to get it to when you start guessing, whether it be the guys in that backfield. And they've got some more guys, too, that I think are going to be making some waves this year in Austin. Trey Wisner. Haven't even seen what he is yet in Austin. Dude is a stud. Got to see him play a lot in high school. And then you got receivers to make you miss in space and kind of keep that same pace going. The big part of this, the Wi-Fi of the offense now, Quinn Ewers. He knows where to go with the football. He's going to help get his receivers up to speed. With all those new faces, Texas, without question, one of the most dangerous offenses in 2024. How about Ohio State, huh? This is a team that is typically on this list in the preseason. Last year, man, I don't know that you could say Ohio State was one of the most dangerous offenses in the country. That's no shade to Ohio State. They just, quite frankly, were not what we've seen them be. Now that we're breaking in a new quarterback with Kyle McCord, clearly had some sort of conversation after the season. They're going to have a new quarterback this year. Fully expect that to be Will Howard. The scheme, I think, is still TBD. Chip Kelly is a mastermind. We've seen that throughout his coaching career. I think the offense will still resemble what we've seen from him across his career. I think it'll be run to pass. I think it will be tempo. I think it will be get the ball to your players in space and set up plays for them to ball in space, whether it be Emeka Egbuka, whether it be Jeremiah Smith. We go down the list here, and that's the other part of this. Like, I'm putting them on this list, yes, because I think the scheme's going to be solid, even though we're still not 100% what that's going to look like. But the personnel across the board, man, is just, it's diabolical. You know what you're getting in Will Howard. I think people got to put some respect on Will Howard's name, calling him a slight, a 2.0 of Kyle McCord. I was going to say slight upgrade. I think he's not a slight upgrade. I just think he's an upgrade. And so you pair that with what you have at the skill positions with Travion Henderson when he's healthy. Quinshon Judkins was a beast in the SEC in that running back room. They're going to have a lot of players to get the ball to. And I think all the concerns that folks have about the offensive line, that's fine. I think the way that Chip Kelly is going to scheme it, they're going to be able to, I don't know if hide is the right word, but compensate where they don't have what they need. Chip Kelly at Oregon, he wasn't working with five-star offensive linemen. A lot of three-star guys, and they just were able to take the defense where they wanted them to go. Wasn't overpowering them, a lot of zone schemes, and all that's to say, I love the personnel. I love Chip Kelly on this staff, and I think the most important part of this whole thing with Ohio State is the synergy with Chip Kelly and Ryan Day. Like, it's something that you can't really quantify. What's the chemistry between your OC and head coach? There's no way around that. But I do think that there's something to be said for being on the same page as your head coach. And Ryan Day passing the sticks to Chip Kelly to call the offense, something we've seen Ryan Day make his name for in college football, and trusting him with that side of the ball, I don't think that should be overlooked. And I think the trust factor there is absolutely massive. So Ohio State, definitely one of the top offenses in 2024, going into the season at least. Ole Miss, man, had to put them on this list. 71% of that production that scored 32 points a game in the SEC, they're back. Starts and ends with Jackson Dart. And we have been pretty much on the first car of the hype train for Jackson Dart, man. Like, I think he's taken a tremendous step from year 1 to year 2. That's obvious, but I'm projecting him to take a big step again from year 2 to year 3. Because the RPO offense, man, it is something that takes a while to get comfortable in, especially as a quarterback where you got to make a decision in a split second, whether you're going to give it, whether you're going to pull it and throw it, whether you're going to pull it and run it. Like, there was so much on his plate that he had to digest going from year 1 to year 2, having never been in an offense like this before. As he goes from year 2 to year 3, there's some real continuity here that he can build off of. And I love the way they run this offense, too. They're going to attack the perimeter, much like Oregon. Heard a clinic from Charlie Weiss, their OC out there. We're going to try and make corners make tackles. Because when corners have to make tackles, usually they don't make them. So, you appreciate that from Charlie Weiss, just the transparency there. Trey Harris, Juice Wells, you can't cover both of them with 2 guys. You got to give one of them single coverage. And when you do that, I think they're going to win their matchup. I'm really excited about Ole Miss. The tempo they play with, too, is just a total equalizer for any games where they don't have the personnel they need to have. Can they beat the Georgias? Can they beat the LSUs and the Alabamas consistently? They beat LSU last year. We're outmatched against Georgia. I'm curious to see what Ole Miss does in 2024, but Ole Miss definitely going to be dangerous. Probably another 30-plus point year from them offensively every single game. Any given game, rather, on average. Now, Tennessee, excuse me, look off. Tennessee scored over 32 points a game last year. Didn't really feel like it. It wasn't really the offense we saw from Josh Heupel and company in 2022. But I think last year was a testament to how good of an offensive coordinator Josh Heupel really is. Because with Joe Milton playing quarterback for you, I think you had a lot of the things that you needed. Okay, maybe not everything you wanted, a lot of things that you needed. Clearly, you scored 32 points a game, so you were able to be successful in that regard. But the fact that you, in my opinion, from an ability standpoint now, upgrade with Nico Iamaleava running the show for you, I think you're going to see an explosion offensively. Because this receiving core, add some guys, whether it be Mike Matthews, 5-star true freshman who's going to ball for them, whether it be Squirrel White getting a chance to take another step, Brew McCoy getting healthy, I think that's going to create more options for him. And also, we talked about it with Coach Heupel, but like if they go even faster with this radio communication, it's going to be a nightmare to play against Tennessee. They spread the field against you. We've talked about it a lot on this show. They're going to make you cover all 53.3 yards of width of the field. And when they win their matchup, they got a quarterback now that can consistently hit the bullseye for you. That's the difference now. I think consistency from Nico is going to make this offense really hum. Tennessee, without question, one of the best offenses in the country going into the season if, it's a big if Nico Iamaleava hits the ground running like I think he's going to hit the ground running. Last one here. Don't fall asleep on Arizona. I don't have a ton to break down here because it's a new staff for Arizona. Dino Babers. Remember Dino Babers? He was at Syracuse. He's now the quarterbacks and OC coach there. Keep an eye on them. They scored over 34 points a game last year in the Pac-12. Rest in peace, Pac-12. They bring back Noah Fafita, their quarterback last year. They bring back Tataroa McMillan, who had over 1,400 yards, 90 receptions, and 10 touchdowns. 70% of that production on offense. I know the staff changes, but a lot of those pieces are still there. Would not surprise me in the slightest if that offense took another step and was north of 35 points a game this year at Arizona. So let me know who we missed there. I'm sure there was some schools that you would want mentioned, but we didn't get to there. But regardless, those for me are the most dangerous offenses in 2024 heading into the season. Hey y'all, thanks so much for watching. Subscribe to the channel here to make sure you don't miss an episode of The Hard Count. Also be sure to check out other videos on the On3 YouTube channel.